The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq fell for the second straight day. In today's video, we gotta look at a stock that is about to make a crazy move tomorrow and why all of you should be keeping it in your watch list. We're also going to be doing an updates on some of the stocks that I've mentioned in the last video. Now, let's dive into the charts. Right off the bat, we got the SPY futures. And I told y'all before, and I'm gonna tell y'all again, we are bearish. The bears are in full control of the S&P 500. Today, it provided the doji, which is fine. The doji is partially due because of the way it closed. The new candle opened. This is tomorrow's candle. All right, and the bears are still in control. The level of support is still at 6,800 right here. It did form a structure on the 15-minute, but the close was looking a little bit suspect. All right, so the structure is right here. It's a bit bigger than the one right there, but the structure is the following. We have this and we have that. And from the perspective of bears, the spot where bears who want to take their position short, usually, typically, is either right here or at the breakdown right here. Now, some of the bears are trapped, but they're not too worried because of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that we're falling down and everything is going lower. That's the bigger picture, right? So they're not freaking out. If tomorrow we open below 6,900, it's going to go where it's supposed to go, which is down here. Okay. Now the bears will be worried if we got above 69.50. That's when they will be a little bit on edge. All right. But for now, I expect this whole week to stay bearish, and I expect us to go lower, especially the S&P. I think the S&P is gonna have to catch up with the Nasdaq, and I think that's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. Now let's check out the VIX, because the VIX started to rise finally. Yeah, it finally started to creep up a little bit, right? Despite the indices being down by more than 1.5% intraday, the highest it could go was 121. I'm still waiting to see how far it can really go, but the market and the volume are gonna have to kick it. Like we need some panic, some fear, some something to really drive this market down. Okay, now the stock that is about to make a big move tomorrow, that stock is none other than Google. All right, now I want to share Google with you because I mentioned it in the last video, and it has lots of room right here. Now that we're done with this earnings thing, right? Now that earnings is out of the way, the good news is that the contracts, the put options, are gonna get cheaper, right? There's an opportunity for us on this one. The puts are gonna get cheaper. I want y'all to set an alert right at 320. 320 is a very critical psychological level. And I believe there are longs who are up here who do not want to see the stock drop below 320. And the moment it gets below 320, they're going to panic. And day traders, short sellers, our job is to take advantage of that and to make money on the way down. So I have my alert on here, and I will be looking at this one very closely. The same way I warned you guys about AMD. Congrats to anybody who took that trade, because AMD dropped by a lot, and y'all should have made plenty of money. Just like I warned y'all, we're gonna look at it. But for this one, again, what we want to see maybe one touch of 320, and then the second or third touch of 320. That's when we go in for a short, and for a short all the way down to like 315. Okay, the contracts are going to pay a lot, especially if the structure is clean and the aftermath is good. Now, if we look at the daily, how low can we really go? How low can we really go if we break 320? 280 is a little aggressive. That's a no. But 290 makes sense because that's previous level of support, right? Yeah, so Yeah, keep your eyes out for that. When these individuals right here gets taken out, the next level to watch out for is the 300 level, right? So I like Google, therefore I want to share it into this video. And I like the fact that it's at all-time highs, which means lots of potential on them contracts. Now, the second stock that I want to share with y'all, y'all gonna love this one. Y'all gonna really like this one. Is Tesla. And now Tesla, I want to share it with y'all because it had earnings last week and it had an IV crush last week. But the one thing that it formed this week, which I really like, and I was waiting for the breakdown, and we got that breakdown today, is this. There's two ways to look at it. They're both bearish, but there are two ways to look at it. There's the big structure, and then there's the small structure. The small structure is cleaner. The big structure, not so much. All right, but the small structure is here. There is a descending triangle on the chart. Right there. Very clean, very perfect. Absolutely beautiful, right? We got a lower high. We got another lower high. We got the dip buyers right here who are not too happy that we cracked below 414, right? With tremendous volume. They don't like that. I'm telling y'all. This is a perfect breakdown. The structure is flawless. I don't see a reason why this thing will go the other way. I don't see any flaw on this structure. I really, really don't. If you do, let me know. We'll argue in the comment section. If you think it's gonna go up to 420, we can argue in the comment section on why I don't think it will. But I like this one for a drop all the way down to 385 tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow. All right. I don't think it's gonna take too long to get down there. I like it. I believe it is good for a drop, and I think it's gonna pay us a lot of money if it behaves the way a descending triangle usually does. All right. Now let's do an update for those of y'all. Again, I shared with y'all AMD. Hopefully y'all got paid. This is the game plan that I drew for y'all. Right. I said we're gonna open somewhere right here, and then we're gonna drop. So it opened somewhere right there, and then it dropped. All right, now we got this gap at the bottom. When is that gonna get filled? I don't know. It could be tomorrow. I really don't know. I have an alert right below 200, just in case. Just in case. All right, so just be ready. Watch it, patiently wait. If it forms something nice and it gives us a reason to short it, then we will short it down. But the mood right here is just bearish. And I told you before, every time you have a massive gap down like that from earnings, the quarter that follows is terrible, right? I think it's gonna end the quarter at 170, but I think it's gonna hit 170 a lot sooner than 3 months from now. So now let's look at one more stock. We got time. We haven't talked about NVIDIA. It's been a while, and with NVIDIA, it had a massive structure that I was watching for on the 3rd yesterday for the breakdown. It broke down and it closed below 180, and then AMD had earnings, didn't do too well, and then all of the sudden dropped. Right now, NVIDIA also collapsed with it, and this is the other stock that Dr. Burry is shorting. I explained to y'all why I like his short position on Palantir and where I thought Palantir was going to go, and it got there already. Now this one, the reason is also the same, and I think it's gonna go much lower. There is the neckline right here. We're right at the neckline. Once 172 gets taken out, there is no support all the way down until 140. All right. So the question is it going to get to 140 before or after earnings? That's the questions that you gotta ask yourself. But from the way that I'm looking at it, if you even look at the bigger picture, especially if you close the week below 175, this is supposed to drop. And this is the last Mag 7 stock to report earnings anyways. And at the end of the month, I don't think they're gonna do well. I mean, they're gonna do well, like obviously. They're going to be. as they always do, right? But the reaction is what matters, because Google crushed earnings. It had a double B. AMD crushed earnings, double B. But those two stocks still fell, right? So the reaction is what matters. And holding anything through earnings is gambling, as I always tell you guys. So be very careful when you get tempted to short. Now, the last stock that we're going to talk about in this video is going to be an update on NBIS. I mentioned this one to y'all about 2 weeks ago, and now I'm going to follow up. This is the follow-up video on that one. Is it going to get all the way down here? So I was right to push it to the right, to push the price target to the right when it hit 91, right? So the daily chart is still clean, and we got to move it more to the right. So be very patient. If you have puts from 96, from when I told y'all that it would drop right here, you should be very well in profit. And I don't see why it will turn around so soon. I have an alert at 79, set an alert right here. Watch it for a drop, and when it rings, then there could be another opportunity down. If you're holding puts, just slowly collect your money as it falls in your direction. So that's my very honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Again, I am not your financial advisor, right? Even though I am right, I've been right for the past like few days. Sometimes I am wrong. All right, so you want to do your own research and you want to make your own decisions. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul at Knowledge Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, don't forget to like and follow for more.